In the heart of the Alentejo forest, the thunderous roars of the beasts echoed like a challenge. They rampaged through the fields, tearing up crops and turning over the soil before vanishing back into their dens. The farmers stood helpless against such defiance, but the hunters were ready to step in, determined to protect every inch of land from their sharp claws and fangs. In this battle, who will be the last one standing? Don't take your eyes off the screen. The fight begins now. Kevin's hunting team had gathered early, the wheels of the truck speeding down the road to the designated location. Before long, the Alentejo forest was tightly surrounded, with no gaps left. Every step was taken with care, scanning every corner. Slowly, a noise unmistakably the sound of hunting dogs. Kevin gripped his rifle tightly and charged toward the source of the sound. Before he could even assess the situation, the massive wild boar came charging at him. A series of rapid shots rang out, and the beast collapsed just a few meters from Kevin. A perfect start to today's hunt. Kevin didn't stop. He pressed on, moving deeper into the forest to continue his journey. Not a sound was heard, only his tense eyes, working tirelessly, missing nothing. 10 minutes passed, and Kevin remained in position, his gaze fixed ahead. Then, a wild boar appeared, slowly emerging from the thick brush. A cold shot rang out, striking it dead on the spot. Without a chance to react, the beast collapsed in the heart of the forest. Before Kevin could even lower his rifle, a strange sound caught his attention. Through the scope, a shadow moved stealthily among the dry branches, charging forward. His gaze was locked on the beast, tracking its every move, waiting for the right moment to strike. In just a few seconds, the shot was fired, and the creature collapsed motionless on the ground. Each step of the hunter's well-hidden and perfectly executed ambush came together in an instant, creating a spectacular moment of surprise. From another position, Jay used the most advanced scope to closely observe every movement from a distance. The scene became crystal clear, as if it were only a few meters away, though it was actually hundreds of meters off. A familiar figure slowly moved across the opposite hillside, unable to escape Jay's sights. A series of swift, precise actions were set in motion, preparing for the fateful squeeze of the trigger. In the blink of an eye, only the fallen beast remained, a victory etched in sharp detail. At this moment, from his new hiding spot, Kevin spotted another beast charging across his path. With the rifle ready, he wasted no time. A quick, decisive burst of gunfire followed. Another obstacle lay motionless on the ground. A smile of satisfaction spread across his face, as yet another threat was swiftly eliminated. Before he could even move a step, the next shadow came into his sights. The wild boars here were clever, never moving in a straight line. always swerving and darting into the brush to stay out of the marksman's view. But for an experienced sharpshooter like Kevin, that was nothing out of the ordinary. With just one shot, the beast was brought down the moment it appeared. This strike officially marked the end of the hunt. The number of beasts taken down was enough to halt the destruction of crops, at least for today. But the battle between hunters and wild boars is far from over, as the creature's reproductive rate far exceeds any expectations. Wild boars have now become a nightmare for residents across Europe. They constantly invade and devastate crops. Despite repeated hunting efforts, their numbers continue to grow, forcing local farmers to persistently confront the problem. In today's video, join us as we follow Tony and his team on their challenging hunt. Let's see how it unfolds. Early in the morning, Tony and his team position themselves in a freshly harvested field, open terrain with no cover left for the boars to hide. Here, even the slightest mistake would let their targets escape. A massive wild boar suddenly burst from the tall grass, weighing nearly 100 kilograms and sprinting like a bullet. Without hesitation, Tony and his team immediately gave chase in their vehicle. After intense pursuit, he took careful aim and dropped the beast with a single well-placed shot. Emboldened by this initial success, the team combed through the entire area with renewed determination, leaving no boar unchecked. After hours of tracking, Tony finally pinpointed the lead boar's movement. Without delay, an ambush plan was set into motion. Each second passed in breathless silence. Boom! A crisp gunshot rang out the moment the target appeared. The boar collapsed less than a meter from Tony. Once again, his experience and composure secured him another prized trophy. Before he could celebrate, a strange rustling erupted from the distant dry grass. As Tony moved closer to investigate, a massive boar suddenly charged straight at him. With no time to hesitate, his fingers instinctively squeezed the trigger. Years of hunting experience paid off. The perfectly placed shot stopped a potentially deadly attack mere inches away. After an exhausting day of hunting, the wild boar population showed no signs of dwindling. There were simply too many. So Tony and his team made a bold decision: right operation. As darkness fell and the air turned biting cold, prime conditions for boar hunting, they located their first targets within minutes. Through thermal scopes, the boars stood out vividly, making them easy marks. In just a few hours, they eliminated numerous targets, dramatically thinning the local boar population. The hunt continues relentlessly. At this moment, we're pursuing a fleeing wild boar. Despite its surprising speed, I managed to adjust my rifle and fire in rapid succession. Near the tree line in the distance, another sounder of boars wanders while foraging. Sensing imminent danger, they immediately wheel around and flee in panic. But Tony, ever prepared, needs only seconds to lock onto his target. With surgical precision, his shots find their mark, dropping the boar with centimeter-level accuracy. As night fell, the wild boars emerged in greater numbers, and these were even bigger specimens. In a coordinated moment, Tony and his team unleashed a synchronized volley of fire. When the gun smoke cleared, the boars lay lifeless on the forest floor. From their strategically chosen firing positions, they continued eliminating targets with deadly precision. One shot, one kill. As the hunt concluded, though the hunt yielded a significant number of kills, the size of the fleeing herd made one thing clear: these operations would continue until the wild boar population was brought under control. In the rugged mountains of Turkey and the fields of Morocco, wild boars are causing severe damage. They ravage cornfields and uproot orchards, leaving farmers at risk of losing entire harvests. Faced with this dire situation, authorities have authorized hunters to curb these destructive pests. In today's hunt, John and Nick's team head straight into the beast's battleground. The first destination is the dense Turkish forest, where John's team has planned to block key trails. Everyone takes their positions, meticulously preparing for the imminent battle. At this moment, John approaches the trail the beast is certain to pass through. As soon as he arrives, he immediately assumes a ready stance. And then, as predicted, a wild boar appears. The first shot is also the only one needed. The beast collapses without a chance to resist. A few dozen meters from the initial position, through his scope, John quickly spots a wild boar creeping up the hillside. The beast is unaware of the rifle barrel waiting ahead. The marksman seizes the moment, firing the instant it comes into view. One shot, one kill. There's no room for error here. A single miss could cost an entire harvest, or even a life. Deep within the forest, another marksman lies in wait, carefully observing his surroundings. 10 minutes pass, and his patience is swiftly rewarded. A faint, unusual sound echoes, and the beast appears in his line of sight. Without a moment's hesitation, one shot is all it takes. The creature collapses, unaware it has fallen into the trap. At the same time, Nick's team is en route to today's hunting ground. The entire team is aboard a vehicle, venturing deep into the fields. Suddenly, a massive dark shadow looms into view. Nick instantly readies himself for whatever might come. Oh my god! The beast charges straight toward their vehicle. Gunshots ring out, successfully bringing it down. Thankfully, they've escaped the beast's ferocious attack. Hunting is always fraught with lurking dangers. Therefore, when hunting, you must observe meticulously and maintain composure before acting. Without pausing, Nick's team presses on to the planned location, setting up an ambush across the field. They take their positions, concealing themselves carefully. Moments later, a wild boar appears, charging through the open space. Everything unfolds as calculated. With just a few shots ringing out, the beast collapses, unable to escape. As the day darkens, Nick hurries to the edge of the field, where clashes between man and beast are most frequent. Not long after, a wild boar suddenly bursts from the dense bushes, seemingly fleeing from something. In a split second, Nick fires. The bullet ends a potential threat, securing another peaceful day for the field.
At 4 a.m., while the entire city still lay wrapped in sleep, we were already deep in the western forest. This wasn't a casual stroll. This was a mission. Beneath these leafy canopies lurks an uninvited enemy, relentlessly ravaging the hard work of farmers, turning lush green fields into battlegrounds. Today, we set out to answer their silent cries, their weary sighs. Will peace ever return to this land? Come with us and find out. As dawn broke, the mountainside became our first battleground. And we didn't have to wait long. At 6:15 a.m., right at the forest's edge, our target appeared exactly as predicted. My first shot struck its shoulder. It immediately changed course, trying to flee up the hillside. But the second shot gave it no chance. It collapsed, forever lying on the land it never belonged to. Mission accomplished. What do you think? Was that shot a masterpiece? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know. We pressed deeper along the narrow trail leading into the fields. The target appeared, completely unaware it was stepping into death's crosshairs. The bullet struck the vital spot, ending the threat in an instant. A single shot echoed through the air, guarding the harvest and keeping the fields forever green. They think speed means escape. They're wrong. Watching it charge like a runaway car, I didn't rush. I waited for it to step into the perfect trap. Boom. Game over. The bullet stopped it dead in its tracks. Forever, at the edge of life and death. Only the fastest gets to write the final chapter. I spotted it limping from a distance. I knew this prey would be an easy catch. I gave it a warning shot. It chose to run. The second shot sent it tumbling like a puppet with its strings cut. In a life or death battle, the slowest becomes dinner. After a midday break, we moved down to the plains, where tougher, craftier targets lurk, masters of hiding who demand the teamwork of an entire hunting squad. From the watchtower, my teammate David wasn't just observing the beast, he was guarding the peace of this land. When the intruder appeared, there was no hesitation. One decisive shot pinned it down. It fell, and the threat was eliminated. No second bullet needed. One was enough. A clear message. There's no place here for destroyers like the wild boar. When the barking echoed right beside the bushes, I knew the moment had arrived. Just as planned, the strong wild boar was driven out by the pack of hunting dogs from deep within the thicket. He willingly walked straight into death's waiting arms. One clean shot ended the flawless teamwork. It looked for a place to hide, but I found a place where it would lie forever. The sun blazed down harsher and hotter than ever. There it was, a heart-pounding chase as the wild boar poured every ounce of strength into fleeing from the relentless pack of hunting dogs. The barking grew louder, signaling the target was racing straight into the trap. The moment it came into sight, I delivered the finishing bullet, ending the chase in an instant. One shot rang out, keeping the field safe and sound.
In the dense forests of Serbia and Turkey's rugged mountainous regions, wild boars are causing increasingly severe damage. In the Balkan region alone, it's estimated that over 20,000 hectares of agricultural land are destroyed by wild boars each year. They not only ravage cornfields and orchards, but also recklessly attack humans and livestock. The situation has become so serious that many local authorities have had to issue permits for professional hunting teams to intervene. What will be the outcome? Stay tuned to find out. Early morning in the deep forests of Serbia, a familiar hunting hotspot for many professional teams. William and his crew arrived well before dawn. At strategically positioned outposts scattered throughout the area, they lay in silent ambush, poised for their moment. Their luck arrived sooner than expected. A large sounder of wild boars suddenly emerged just as the team settled into position. Without hesitation, they immediately deployed an encircling formation. A precise volley of gunfire left the entire group no time to react. Every target was downed in mere minutes. Following their impressive opening round, Williams' team continued tracking remaining traces. With seasoned expertise, they quickly identified new targets hiding in the forest. One by one, the boars were eliminated with near-perfect accuracy. Amidst the dense forest silence, gunfire echoed relentlessly. The result? More targets downed in rapid succession. Their masterful skills and seamless teamwork delivered success beyond expectations. However, these wild boars proved to be formidable opponents. Sensing danger, they quickly adapted their tactics, hiding in dense thickets and narrow mountain crevices. William immediately ordered an expansion of their search perimeter, splitting the team into smaller units while maintaining constant coordination. The strategy paid off. Those shadowy figures appearing and disappearing were finally detected and swiftly eliminated.